America is facing a crisis, a home and mortgage crisis, a crisis of rampant fraud, deception, and deceit. And the banks are the culprit. Banks are unjustly and illegally forcing families out of their homes on a daily basis. Want proof? Fact. Respected news agency Reuters reported in the Huffington Post that 84% of all home foreclosures are illegal. Fact. The banks have illegally foreclosed on 5,000 American active duty military members, men and women who put their lives on the line for our country, only to find out they've been left homeless. Fact. The Big Five national banks have been sued by attorney generals across the country for illegally foreclosing on homeowners and for loan fraud. America is facing a foreclosure epidemic. Homeowners all across the country are losing their homes to foreclosure. Who are these homeowners? They're people you know. Your family, your friends, your neighbors, your co-workers, your clients, and maybe even you. Good, decent, hard-working people. In this challenging economy, an estimated 15 million people are struggling to make their loan payments, and the number is growing and are in danger of losing their home. Families, single moms raising their kids, young people and senior citizens. They can't make their mortgage payments because they've lost their job. The company they work for is downsizing. Their salary's been cut. Pensions have been slashed or eliminated. Business gone bust. Dramatic loss of stock and market share. But the worst part, the banks lied to borrowers when they got their home loan. The bank used to be a place you could trust with your savings and in getting sound financial advice. It's a known fact that most first-time home buyers, even experienced home buyers, need help and guidance when getting a loan. So home buyers depend on the bank to help them, as they should. Banks are loaning tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars to home buyers, and therefore have a legal responsibility and duty to disclose exactly the terms of the loan, how it works, and what the payments will be, and not just say sign here without giving example. In many cases, banks promised low interest rates to borrowers to entice them to sign on the dotted line. But the truth is, the interest rate was low for just a short period of time. What borrowers were conned into getting were adjustable rate loans with teaser rates, not knowing that the interest rate that they were agreeing to would not stay at that rate. Getting a homeowner to agree to an adjustable rate mortgage meant money in the bank's pockets, a lot more money. Borrowers were unaware that their loan would adjust up to 5 points higher in the months to come. This piece of important bank loan information was conveniently left out of the discussion with the borrower, which led to the home payments skyrocketing to sometimes hundreds of dollars more than the borrower thought they signed up for. The borrower was sold a lie by the banks to get them to take the loan. It's no wonder homeowners fell behind on their mortgage. Banks also colluded with appraisers to inflate the value of the home and persuaded borrowers to take out higher loans. Why would they do this? Because it meant higher fees, greater yield spreads, and higher loan payments for the banks. Banks assured unsuspecting first-time borrowers and homeowners that the price of their home would always increase in value and that they could refinance in a year or two. The refinance game was another way banks racked up more fees and yield spreads. Banks didn't care if they created a bad loan because they immediately sold these loans to unsuspecting investors on the open market. They were sold to pension funds, insurance companies, and other banks around the globe. The banks and investment firms who originated these loans told their investors they were AAA quality loans, when in fact, they were knowingly garbage with a high risk of default. But the banks didn't care. All they cared about were the fees, yields, and commissions they received from selling these bad loans. So banks were paid twice, first for originating and then again for selling these bad loans. But soon, reality set in. The mortgage and refinance scheme ran out of steam. The banks flooded the investment market with bad loans, loans they knew borrowers would not be able to sustain. They created a fire-breathing financial monster that was impossible to contain, which sparked the Wall Street mortgage mess and global financial meltdown. The result, home values didn't go up as the banks assured borrowers. They went in the opposite direction. Home values tanked. In fact, they dropped dramatically in many towns and cities across the U.S. In some major cities, Home values plummeted 50% and more in less than 3 years. This left homeowners with homes worth far less than what they paid for. In many cases, what they overpaid for. And the destructive impact caused by the banks on our economy and to hardworking people across the country continues to this day and will continue for years to come. So now borrowers and homeowners are doing all they can to keep from drowning in a sea of mortgage debt. They look for work, but no one's hiring. They get a second job, but the pay still isn't enough to make ends meet. The homeowner and her family is totally stressed out because they don't know what to do. They don't know what will happen if they lose their home, their memories, everything they've worked for. The only thing left to do is to turn to their lender for help. But the banks aren't there to help, even when they've been given billions of dollars in TARP bailout money paid for by the American taxpayer. All the banks did was to hold on to the bailout money, use it to their own gain, tighten the credit market, and squeeze the American taxpayer, you, even more. When the borrower and homeowner do call the bank for help, the banks make it extremely difficult for them. They make it nearly impossible to speak with someone, with long hold times, sometimes more than an hour, with pre-recorded messages that lead nowhere, with constant busy signals. If the homeowner does get someone on the line, they get pat responses. "I'm sorry, we can't do anything for you unless you're at least 3 months behind on payments." Requiring the borrower to be 3 months behind on payments is another bank scam. Banks have even suggested to borrowers not to make their mortgage payments because this was the only way they could help them. Here's how the scam works. The bank acts as a servicer of the loan. They sold the risky loan to the unsuspecting investor or pension fund in the first place. But the bank is retained by the investor or pension fund to collect the mortgage payments from the borrower. The bank gets paid large fees for collecting these payments. And as long as the loan is active, the bank gets paid by the investor or pension fund, regardless if it's in default or not. Plus, not only does the bank make money from the servicing fees, they make money in pursuing legal action against the borrower, doing valuations on the property, securing the property if vacant, and from the entire management of the defaulted loan and home. Most times, the defaulted loan doesn't even go to foreclosure for many months or even years, and the bank still gets paid on the loan by the investor. So it actually pays to drag out the foreclosure process and make it difficult for the borrower to work out a solution. When the borrower tries to contact the bank for help, they hear, "Give me your information and I'll have someone call you. We'll get you the paperwork to fill out and see what we can do." But the banks barely return the phone calls. Banks rarely respond to all the paperwork the borrower sends in to the bank. The only thing homeowners get from the banks is the runaround. Frustrated and worried, the homeowners turn to others for help. Real estate agents, mortgage brokers, insurance agents, friends, families, co-workers. But here's the problem. Friends and family don't know what to do when it comes to talking to banks. Even if they did know what to do, they're prevented from helping. Banks have made it practically illegal for someone who doesn't hold a real estate license or financial broker license to negotiate on their behalf or to help the homeowner out of their situation. What's more, real estate professionals have just as much difficulty with the banks as the homeowner. Here's what happens. Homeowners have several options when they can't make their mortgage payment. The most common choices are foreclosure, deed in lieu of foreclosure, short sale, loan modification. But are the banks really helping homeowners with these choices? Homeowners are doing everything and anything they can to remedy their situation, searching high and low for a solution to their problem, but to no avail. The hoops the banks make everyone jump through are rings of fire doused with gasoline. Very few homeowners actually make it through the process, and the foreclosure process itself has been manipulated by the banks. And proof of this was established by the internationally publicized robo-signing scandal. Banks illegally foreclosed on millions of borrowers, even borrowers who were current on their loan payments. 5 major banks were sued by the federal government and 49 state attorneys general for loan servicing and foreclosure abuses. They won a settlement of $25 billion against the banks the largest joint federal-state civil settlement in history. Criminal and civil suits are still pending. But there's more shocking news. Even homeowners who make their loan payments on time each month are at grave risk. Here's how. Since the mortgage meltdown in 2008, more than 427 national and regional banks, lenders, and investment companies have gone belly up or bankrupt, and that number is still rising. The failed banks were then bought up for pennies on the dollar by the big five banks, along with their assets and mortgages. Plus, all of the mortgages that failed banks were servicing or acting as a servicing agent were also absorbed by the big banks. So any homeowner who is making their loan payment to a failed lender, or any lender, has got to ask themselves, who owns my mortgage? Who am I really paying? Are my payments really being credited to my loan payments? Can the bank who I'm now paying prove that they are authorized to take my payments? Or am I making payments to a lender who says they own my loan, but really don't? By law, any bank who's foreclosing on a mortgagor has to prove they are the true servicer of your loan and mortgage by producing the original signed loan and original paperwork. And in most cases, they can't. All homeowners have every legal right to know who owns their loan and to demand to see the original loan documents they signed when they purchased their home. Because if the foreclosing bank can't produce the original note, they have no standing or right to foreclose on your home. That would be like you filing for foreclosure on your neighbor, but you can't prove that your neighbor borrowed the money from you. If you're paying the bank and they're not your true lender, you may have a problem. Because if those payments are not credited or don't make it to your true lender, you still owe those mortgage payments. And if that bank or lender has failed or gone bankrupt, you won't be able to get your money back, which leaves you holding the bag, responsible for those payments, and SOL, surely out of luck. What the banks are doing is nothing less than deception and deceit. It's a federal offense. No one is immune to what the banks are doing. No one. This unjust and unlawful behavior has got to stop. If homeowners have to abide by the law, then so do the banks. Yet the banks behave as if they're above the law. Until now, there was little you could do to help. But now, anyone can help. Help yourself and get paid for helping. It doesn't matter if you're a real estate agent, insurance rep, mortgage broker, neighbor, friend, homeowner, or someone who simply wants to do good and get rewarded for it. Now's the time to help. Your family, your friends, your neighbors, your co-workers, your clients. Help restore the American dream. Help restore decency, pride, and honor to those who are unfairly treated by the banks by giving them a fighting chance. Get paid for doing good. Get paid for doing the right thing. Get paid for helping those in need. Here's how. Chances are great that if you're a homeowner making payments on time each month, you could also be a victim of loan fraud. Did you know that there are legal resources available to homeowners to help uncover and shine a bright light of the true status of their loan, the defects regarding their loan, and the foreclosure procedure? Did you know that homeowners may be entitled to money damages from the bank and may not even be aware of it? These legal resources are highly guarded inside secrets and legal courses of action that banks don't want you to know about. But the secret is finally out. There's a company that's on the cutting edge and know exactly how to protect the rights of homeowners and borrowers when it comes to foreclosure law, defaulted loan payments, and proper procedure. They fight for what's right. They help you force the banks to prove they've followed proper legal procedure. They champion the homeowner to help them solve the most stressful situation of their lives. The company is armed with the best legal minds to combat the banks, and they're ready to go to battle for you.
Hi, I'm Jason. If you're facing foreclosure and you want to fight to save your house, but you cannot afford a lawyer, then I've got some good news for you. Now you can do it yourself and save thousands of dollars in legal fees. And it's not as hard as you might think. In fact, it's really quite easy. You may find yourself in a situation with Countrywide, Bank of America, Chase, Nation Star, Wells Fargo, HSBC, or maybe one of these companies. If so, there is a good chance your loan contains error, legal violations, breaches of contract, and fraud. Now, I'm sure you're looking for the most affordable and effective options available, correct? No worries, we've got you covered. With our easy non-credit-based financing and affordable payment options, you can fight foreclosure without breaking your bank. Getting started is easier than inviting Esther to the company Christmas party. Just go to www.fraudstoppers.org and click the Get Started Now button right here. Then just fill out this form, click the Submit button, and one of our agents will contact you right away to conduct a free, confidential fraud analysis to help you determine what your best option to saving your piece of the American dream is. It's as easy as that. Then stick around and watch some of our other videos. I'm sure you will see something interesting. Until then, thanks for watching and have a great day.
Hi, I'm Mary. And I'm Jennifer. Are you looking to save your house from foreclosure using the help of an affordable and competent attorney? Or are you thinking about doing it yourself? Pro se, so you can save money in legal fees? Or maybe you want a combination of the two, so you can save money and get the help you need. So get started right now and register for your free consultation. Get the help you need to save your piece of the American dream. Until then, take care. Bye.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.